Here are the 10 items you should try to keep hidden away from your neighbor so they don't target you and your emergency supplies when the world turns upside down. You don't want to become your neighborhood's personal storefront, do you? First up on our list is the treasure chest. I have one of my own, and it's basically a hidden emergency stash full of food, water, and medical and outdoor gear. Everything you may need to weather any storm. You wouldn't just hand over a treasure map to just anyone, would you? The same should go for your emergency stash. Here's the thing, the world can be a tough place. Even the nicest people can get desperate in a crisis. So keeping your preps under wraps is key. If things get rough, even the friendliest neighbor might have a change of heart, driven by the primal need for survival. Think about it. You don't ever want to mention your treasure chest to anyone, not even by accident. Just imagine waking up to find your precious supplies gone. As preppers, these represent our months, maybe even years of careful planning and preparation. Sharing this information with the wrong person could put everything at risk. That's why it's crucial to keep your stockpile a secret. Discretion is key. After all, these supplies are your lifeline in an emergency, your insurance policy against the unexpected. Next on our list deals with something fascinating: alternative currencies. Now, this might sound like something out of a movie, but hear me out. In a crisis, traditional money might not be worth the paper it's printed on, especially now that the US dollar isn't even backed by gold anymore. That's where things like alcohol, batteries, cloth, or even toilet paper may come in handy. These become your bartering chips, your way of getting what you need when cash doesn't hold any weight anymore in a SHTF situation. Let me break it down for you with an example. Imagine you have a stash of toilet paper. Now you might need some extra batteries for your hand crank radio. You can't exactly pay cash, but you could offer some of your precious toilet paper in exchange. Bartering is a powerful survival skill, and having these alternative currencies tucked away is a smart move. But here's the secret sauce: don't advertise your bartering supplies. Publicly displaying a stockpile of batteries or a hidden liquor cabinet is like walking through a crowded market flashing a stack of cash. It just screams attention, which can attract unwanted danger in a crisis. The key is to be discreet and think ahead about what might be valuable in a barter system. By having a variety of alternative currencies on hand and keeping them discreet, you'll be well positioned to barter for the things you need in a crisis situation. We mentioned things like alcohol and batteries, which are classic choices, but you might also consider things like silver, gold, or copper, which are versatile elements that can be used for repairs and even creating makeshift tools. Remember, the key is to have these items on hand, but keep them discreet. No need to create a scavenger hunt for your neighbors. All right, let's delve into some other things you might want to keep on the down low. Number 3 on our list focuses on energy independence: solar panels, generators, and energy-efficient appliances. Solar panels, rechargeable batteries, and energy-saving refrigerators. These are all fantastic tools for keeping the lights on during a power outage. But remember, self-sufficiency can be a double-edged sword, especially for us preppers. While you're basking in the glow of your stored sunshine, you might also be attracting unwanted attention from your neighbors. Think of it like being a lighthouse in a storm. Everyone sees your light, and they might come looking for a safe harbor. The same goes for generators. Sure, they'll keep your fridge humming and your TV on during a blackout, but that loud hum can also act as a beacon to your neighbors, especially when their houses are dark and silent. Try creating an acoustic enclosure for your generator to muffle the sounds and put it on top of an anti-vibration mat. Speaking of alternative energy sources, have you considered DIY solar-powered devices like ovens and chargers? These are ingenious inventions that showcase your resourcefulness and ability to adapt. But here's the thing: they also scream "prepared" to anyone who sees them. Just like that light switch you flicked on a minute ago, those little solar panels might attract someone looking for a way to charge their own devices or cook a hot meal during a crisis. Now let's talk about home fortification supplies. We're talking reinforced doors, window bars, maybe even a hidden panic room. These are fantastic measures to protect your family and belongings, like a medieval castle with sturdy walls and a moat. But if your neighbors get wind of your fortress-like setup, they might see something different. They might view your home as a well-stocked target, a place with resources worth attacking. Remember, it's not about being antisocial, it's about being smart and safe in a world that's not always predictable. Your survival depends on protecting your resources and keeping your cards close to your chest. So instead of a giant sign that reads Fort Knox, consider reinforcing your doors and windows discreetly. There are subtle ways to strengthen your home without making it look like a prison. Also invest in a security system with silent alarms. This way, you'll be alerted to any suspicious activity without putting a target on your back. But electronics aren't the only thing you should worry about trying to hide. Also consider hand tools like axes, shovels, and even a simple hammer. These are essential for tasks like chopping firewood or clearing debris. But here's the catch. A full toolbox displayed prominently in your garage might be a bit too revealing. While it's great to be prepared, having a whole arsenal on display could give away more than you bargained for. So keep your tools tucked away when not in use, and only bring out what you need for specific tasks. Let's talk about some other tools. Flashlights and radios that don't need batteries? That's genius, isn't it? These are lifesavers when the power goes out. But here's the thing. Whipping out your trusty hand crank flashlight during a blackout might be a bit like, well, shining a spotlight on your preparedness. What if the power goes out in your neighborhood and it doesn't return for a couple of days? Panic sets in. People are fumbling around in the dark, bumping into furniture and feeling lost. The world outside your window is a silhouette against the faint glow of the moon. Suddenly, you appear on your porch, bathed in the light of your hand crank flashlight. Not only does this make you and your shiny gadget a target for curious moths, but it also broadcasts your preparedness to the entire neighborhood in a way that's hard to ignore. Your neighbors might start wondering, do they have more supplies stashed away? In a crisis situation, people can become desperate, and the last thing you want is to be seen as an easy target simply because you have a handy flashlight. Next up on our list deals with something valuable: knowledge. We're talking specialty survival books and guides. These can be lifesavers, filled with information on everything from foraging for wild foods to building a fire without matches. There's no doubt that having a survival library is a great way to be prepared. But here's the thing. If you're constantly showing off your collection of survival manuals, you're basically broadcasting your prepper status to the world. Remember, secrecy can be your best friend in a crisis. Your best bet would be to learn the information inside the books as well as you can. Take your own notes and then use the book itself as a fire starter or as bartering material. You should try to keep those precious books tucked away on a hidden shelf and use them as a source of personal empowerment or as bartering material and not really a conversation starter. Here's another thing to consider. In a crisis situation, staying calm and collected is crucial. If your neighbors know you have a whole library of survival books, they might see you as the go-to person for every little problem. This can be overwhelming and take away from your own ability to focus on your family's survival. Imagine having to deal with your own problems about the situation, while also being bombarded with questions and requests from others. It's important to strike a balance. You can be helpful and supportive to your neighbors without putting a target on your back or jeopardizing your own well-being. Let's talk about water and water purification supplies. These can be anything from tablets to chemicals, and they're crucial for turning potentially unsafe water into something you can drink with confidence. There's no doubt that clean water is the lifeblood of survival. In a crisis situation, access to safe drinking water can be the difference between life and death. Having a way to purify water means you're not just getting by, you're thriving. You can maintain good hygiene, cook meals safely, and stay hydrated. All essential components of staying healthy and resilient during tough times. But here's the thing. Pulling out your trusty water purification tablets every time you need a drink could send a signal to your neighbors. It shows them that you have a reliable source of clean water, which can be a precious commodity in a crisis. Remember, resource independence is great, but it can also make you a target for those who don't have the same advantages. Imagine a scenario where everyone around you is struggling to find clean water, and you're confidently refilling your canteen from a seemingly endless supply. It might not take long for people to start wondering where your water is coming from and how they can get some for themselves. Speaking of water purification, let's talk about home distilling equipment. These gadgets can be lifesavers, turning murky water from a pond or stream into something crystal clear and safe to drink. But there's a catch. A backyard still might raise some eyebrows. After all, it can be used to make more than just drinkable water, if you know what I mean. If your neighbors see you fiddling with your distillation kit, they might start to get curious. Are you making water, or are you brewing something a little stronger? The key is to keep your home distillery discreet. Tuck it away somewhere out of sight and only use it when necessary. Let's delve into a few more things you might want to keep on the down low. The next item on our list is pretty obvious: food and cooking supplies. We all know that having a stockpile of food is essential for any prepper, but let's face it, a pantry overflowing with canned goods and enough dried beans to feed a small army is a pretty clear sign that you're ready to ride out a long storm. And in a crisis situation, that can make you a target. Imagine a scenario where everyone around you is struggling to find food, and you're happily restocking your shelves with cases of your favorite brand of chili. It wouldn't take long for people to start noticing your well-stocked pantry and maybe even wondering how they can get a piece of the action. So the key is to be discreet about your food storage. Rotate your supplies regularly so you're always using the older stuff first. Consider using opaque containers to store your long-term food and keep them tucked away in a cool, dry place that's not readily visible. Now let's talk about cooking during a crisis. Camp stoves and mess kits are fantastic tools to have on hand, but displaying them proudly on your countertop might not be the best idea. Think about it this way. If the power goes out and everyone's scrambling to find a way to cook a hot meal, your shiny new camp stove suddenly becomes a very desirable item. The same goes for off-grid cooking devices like wood-burning stoves or solar cookers. While these are ingenious inventions that allow you to cook without relying on electricity, they also broadcast your self-reliance to the world. In a crisis, some people might see your fancy solar cooker not as a symbol of resourcefulness, but as a potential solution to their own hunger pangs. And it's not just about the food stocks you have, but the stocks you can grow. Now, there's no doubt that being able to grow your own food is a valuable skill in a crisis, but a well-stocked seed collection and a fully equipped gardening shed can send a message to your neighbors. You're self-sufficient and have a plan B, or maybe even plan Z in case the grocery stores run dry. Imagine a scenario where fresh fruits and vegetables become a luxury. Suddenly, your green thumb and thriving garden become a beacon for those who are struggling to find food. You need to be discreet here. You can plant a small herb garden in a sunny windowsill, or grow some tomatoes in discreet containers on your patio. These small steps can yield big results without attracting unwanted attention. You can even consider putting up a walk-in greenhouse over your garden if you really want to make sure no one knows what's inside. We can't talk about food without talking about spices and seasonings, right? You might be thinking, spices? Really? But hear me out. These little flavor boosters are more than just a way to make your food taste better. In a crisis situation where fresh ingredients might be scarce, spices can become a valuable commodity. They can help you transform your long-term food storage into more palatable meals. And that, my friends, can make you a target. If everyone's eating bland, repetitive meals, and you're whipping up culinary masterpieces with your secret stash of spices, people might start wondering how you're doing it. Knowing your way around, especially in an emergency, is a crucial survival skill. Having a good map, compass, or GPS device can be a lifesaver if you need to evacuate your home or navigate unfamiliar territory. But here's the thing. A whole collection of maps and compasses displayed prominently on your bookshelf might scream preparedness a little too loudly. Think of a scenario where a disaster strikes and people are panicking, unsure where to go. Suddenly, your collection of detailed maps and wilderness survival guides becomes very interesting to those around you. They might start asking questions about where you plan to go, or worse, try to convince you to share your escape plan. Remember, your escape plan is yours alone. Keep it a closely guarded secret, and keep your maps and navigation tools tucked away in a safe place for when you need them most. Communication equipment is essential. We're talking radios, satellite phones, or any other gadgets that allow you to stay connected during a crisis. Now, being able to call for help or receive important updates can be a lifesaver. But here's the catch. Openly displaying your communication equipment might not be the best idea. If the power goes out and all the cell phone towers are down, and you're the only one with a working radio, you suddenly become a valuable resource. People might flock to you for information, or worse, try to take your radio so they can use it for themselves. In a crisis situation, information is power, and having access to communication can make you a target. The key is to keep your communication equipment hidden and only use it when absolutely necessary. Remember, operational security is crucial, By keeping your communication methods a secret, you ensure that they remain available to you when you need them most. When venturing into some sensitive territory, number 9 on our list, medical supplies and medications. Having a well-stocked first aid kit and a stash of essential medications is a smart move for any prepper. After all, you can't fight for survival if you're constantly getting knocked down by minor injuries or illnesses. But here's the thing. Displaying your medicine cabinet contents or boasting about your hidden antibiotic stockpile might not be the best idea. Think of a scenario where a nasty flu sweeps through your community and medication becomes scarce. Suddenly, your collection of over-the-counter pain relievers and antibiotics becomes very attractive to those who are feeling under the weather. You might find yourself playing doctor to the entire neighborhood, or worse, having your supplies stolen. The key is to keep your medical supplies discreet and secure. Store them in a locked cabinet or a hidden location, and only share what you're comfortable sharing with close family members. Remember, your health is your priority, and your medical supplies are your lifeline in an emergency. Don't advertise them to the world. And now, self-defense. There is no one-size-fits-all answer here. Some preppers choose to have firearms for protection, while others prefer non-lethal deterrence. But here's the thing. Regardless of your chosen method of self-defense, openly advertising your firepower or any other means of defense is not recommended. Think of a situation where tensions are high, and people are worried about their safety. If you're known as the neighborhood gun owner, you might become a target, not just for your supplies, but also because some people might feel threatened by your perceived aggression. Remember, self-defense is about protecting yourself and your loved ones, not attracting unwanted attention. Keep your cards close to your chest when it comes to your defense capabilities. And it's not just the neighbors you should be wary about. Even the government can be unforgiving in times of disasters. Click the video on screen now to learn about the 11 surprising things the government can legally take from you.